Hey, good afternoon, Manchester, New Hampshire, and all the surrounding areas. My friend Dave is here, and we just got back from a delicious lunch. And we went to Elm House of Pizza on Elm Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. I had a plate of fish haddock sandwich. Dave, you had a pizza.
I had a pizza, mushrooms with basil. Delish. I will definitely be going back.
Me too. And the waitress service was very good.
Right, she was.
This is my second time, and I'm very blessed to have the different waitresses that come in and got very good service.
Yes, indeed.
And it's a former Theo's. Okay, so folks, I went and you go in there, 10 beans on it. Just go in and say hi and have a good meal, good dinner, a good lunch or whatever, you know. And but it was me, clam chowder wasn't in the way I like it to be, but that's who I am.
Well, hey,
you know?
it wasn't.
And by the way, for the lady who was upset, they did put French fries on a separate plate for my sandwiches.
That's right. That's for the lady from Applebee's.
Yeah, but the waitress, the lady called in and would tell me how that she would put it on a paper plate if he owned a restaurant. She wouldn't do it.
Oh, that's right. Last time I was here, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
So most people, most restaurants are very accommodating that way.
Well, I mean, they're in the
If I
service.
forget
They
to
want
tell
your
them,
business.
yeah.
Hey.
But if I forget to tell them, then I soak it up and I'll ask for a plate and I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
You know, it's only right. You know, but I'm well on the road to recovery. I have to go a week from tomorrow to the cancer doctor. They're going to tell me what other plans they have. If you make up your mind, folks, that you want to get better, you can.
That's true.
Don't let the doctors and the meds pull you down. Pull your heart up and put it into it. Now, one of the things I think I want to talk about, Dave, is insurance.
Insurance?
Yeah.
Sure.
We pay a lot of money for insurance. And what do they cover?
Well, I don't pay anymore because I just switched my plan thanks to Norm.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you buy, you work in a factory, you work in an office, a business, and you pay an exorbitant amount of money to have good coverage, and I don't believe that you should have to have a copay.
Well, I agree. You shouldn't.
Because if you don't, and if you go for a $20,000 operation, and you got that copay, and you don't have enough, what happens? That's why people lose their houses. That's why they,
That's true.
Do they get any better? And if you don't have good insurance, they're not going to take care of you the way they should.
That's true. And then, if you do use the insurance, sometimes to have them cover it, it's unbelievable. Because that happened to me with Tufts.
Yeah.
I had surgery, and then we'll say it was my sinus surgery, whatever it was. I forget the exact amount, but we'll say like 14 or 16 grand. They want to pay like $2,500. It's like,
well, I have insurance.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why am I paying for insurance?
Yeah. Well, that's like if you're in a car accident and you're suing the insurance company for it. You actually comes out, you win a lawsuit. Say you win a $50,000 lawsuit. Out of that lawsuit, you got to pay back that insurance company. And it's not even your fault. Why doesn't it come out of his or her insurance?
Right, it should. Right.
And you have to pay back the doctor out of your insurance. And the lawyers get their share.
Naturally, they get theirs first.
Oh, they're not the bat, And that's and then they have all these hidden costs. I believe we should have insurance. But I often wonder if it's worth it. If you're going to get into it and you're going to pay all that back, is it worth it?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. This isn't the whole, I believe that this country is run by the pharmaceutical companies and the insurance companies.
It is. Well, good case in point. Norm, go to Boston. The tallest buildings in town are what? Insurance companies. The tallest buildings. Go to anywhere, same thing. Chicago, what are the tallest buildings?
Yeah.
Insurance companies.
Yep.
And of course, what do you see on TV all the time? I never knew there were so many medical conditions someone could have. Ask your doctor for this, ask your doctor for that. And they pretty much do run the country because I believe the past administration wanted them when they advertise to have them tell you what the cost of the prescription is, but they beat it. So who's really running the show? Which I think they should. Oh, take our drug. It's only $900 a week. I mean, come on.
Yeah. You know, and that's like now that I guess insulin's gone back up again. It was when Trump was president, the insulin was affordable. Now that we have a new administration, you know, it's unbelievable. You can't afford to be sick. You
No.
can't afford to be well,
Thank God, knock on wood.
and you can't
I'm
afford to be
lucky.
sick. This surgery I've had cost a lot of money. Thank goodness I have some insurance. Because just for that one time alone, it's well over $23,000.
Wow, yeah. Imagine if...
And that's not counting the doctor. That's just the use of the room.
Wow.
Granted, I got wonderful care. I can't complain. But, and then again, the doctors don't control, you know. But the insurance company, and I love it. They'll advertise a certain pill or medication. This is the side effect. That's the side effect. That's the side effect. Or then you're reading now where they're suing the pharmaceutical companies for millions and millions of dollars if you qualify.
Right, I know. Right, exactly. Right, if you qualify, that's right.
And
Incredible.
I see more and more lawyers advertising. I always felt that if you have to advertise, you can't be very good.
Wow.
I'm not seeing a little bit of advertising, but when you constantly.
And there's some of them, I mean, if you watch the brain rot programs, I always remember, like, I used to be addicted. What can I say? Jerry Springer. I loved him. Right, I used to love to watch all that anger come out on stage. But who advertises there? Attorneys. What are they going after? The people that don't work, right? The welfare crowd or whatever, right? It's all attorneys for what? Free money. Free money, I know.
I don't know how anybody personally can go on like the Jerry Springer show. They get some wicked fights and all that. I'd be embarrassed. Or you go to the Steve Wilkos. You ever watch his show?
Yeah, not so much though. But
And
you
if
can't
you're going to
be
be accused of a child, well, I would never go on TV.
Not on those.
Or
me
are
either.
you the baby daddy and all like that? I would be so embarrassed.
And
What
me.
about the children? They don't
I know.
consider what the children could be going through. Oh, I saw your mom and father on TV, so that's not your father.
I know,
That's not,
clowning themselves. But, you know, I used to, need we digress, right? No, I'm watching Jerry Springer. I love it. The woman had come out there and she's talking about this one stole her man. Oh, well, she's here, so we're going to bring her out. I always loved it because then you'd see the one that accuses her of stealing the man. What is she doing? Then she starts taking off her shoes. So I loved it because you either knew she was either going to fling the shoe or she was going to get up there and just start pulling hair and yanking that weave off. And I loved it.
yeah, and I don't know how much. I don't think they get paid for it either.
Well, they get like a free night on the town.
But they get but if you watch something like Judge Judy, that's some interesting cases on Judge Judy or all these other judges show. I believe the producers pay for if they are found guilty.
Right, who's ever right. They pay that.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
And it just behooves me to see people, and I don't like watching. Well, I'm suing my son because he's lazy and he owes me a lot of money, or I'm suing my daughter.
No.
You don't sue your family.
I agree.
You don't. You don't charge your rent. You don't sue them.
What do you mean? I used to have to pay board and rent when I was, room and board when I was a kid. I had to work and pay up.
It's I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I had to pay up.
Yeah. When my stepchildren moved out of the house because they thought we put the money they would pay us that they thought was rent, we put it in the bank for them until when they moved
Good
out.
for you. Yeah, good for you.
And I know a person that has a dog, and she actually makes her husband pay extra money for the dog to be there.
That's, apartments too. I know this lady, she's got a cat. Are you ready? $75 a month extra for the cat.
See, that's
it's
ridiculous.
Come on.
Well,
It is.
the part on that is I blame a lot of the tenants because they don't properly take care of their pets, or their dog, or their cat. And trust me, folks, I'm not saying all, but I don't, like. I went into one apartment, and oh my God, I turned around and walked back out. It smelled so bad of cat. Oh.
Yeah.
All it does is to use common sense, keep your pet box clean, take your dogs out for a walk. If you have 2 ways to do that, then hire somebody.
Right. Then don't have a pet to begin with.
And this is what hurts it for tenants who want to have animals, because the landlords are saying no.
Right.
Because when you go out and you don't pick up the poop or whatever on there, And I watch them all the time at the park. I'll yell at them and they can't see me because I have my microphone on. And I'll say, pick up that dog. They're looking around. It's so funny, And when I walk across the bridge, across the bridge there, you see, every so often you see some, you're not doing yourself or your dog any favor by leaving it there.
Right, I agree. Irresponsible.
And in Manchester, the first time is $50.
Good.
Second time goes to $100.
Good. Third time they should take the pest.
They can. Yeah.
Oh, can they? Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, what do you need? Tell them about you. Tell them about what you do.
Oh, all right. You can get a hold of me, biffid@yahoo.com. I do psychic mediumship readings, tarot readings, crystal ball readings, psychic card readings, which is for everyone today. Be aware, pay attention to us. You'll be amazed.
Yeah. And you have a website?
I do. Lowell Medium Shop. Lowell Medium Shop. .com. Also, you can reach me at 617-777-2236.
Seriously, been one of those long days. But yeah, that's like with me. If they want to, you're also on Facebook.
I am, but I don't have a page. I'm just up on my name.
Okay. But they can friend you and find out how to get.
That's right. Yep. Because I am on Facebook.
I do a lot of messenger readings.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. If you get a lady that's your friend or wants to be a reading done, have them Facebook you as a friend, and then go into Messenger and do that.
Ah, what a good idea. Yeah, because that'd be good. So,
I did that yesterday with a lady from California. Luckily, I have a friend of mine that translates back because they're speaking Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
I have never met, I don't care what their nationality is, that I've never met anyone that I don't like. I have one guy that lives in my building I dislike his actions. I try not to, because it just burns you up. You're not doing yourself any favors by disliking somebody, because then you're holding that little bit of resentment.
True, but I mean, if it's that close to you and constant, and
it is.
It's a little makes it a little bit more complicated to sort of.
I just stay away from them. They stay away from me.
Right. Well, that's good. Yeah.
And spring is coming. A friend of mine gave me some beautiful flowers. I got them sitting on my porch, ready to put into the ground. That beautiful yellow.
Oh, nice! Okay. I love Bryce.
We're gonna be doing the out front with some beautiful flowers, and out back, and the back there we put some of the wild seeds in, and then put a new lawn. The way I feel is, if you're living somewhere, why not keep it looking nice?
I agree. I've always done that all the time. I used to sweep the sidewalk. People, what are you sweeping the sidewalk for? I lived here when I was renting in Lowell. I was on the first floor, a corner apartment. So, they would do the landscaping, basically did a good job. But right in front of the window, there's weeds growing up. I'd go out and pick out the weeds. And, people that lived in the apartment building, what are you doing there for? It's like, I live there.
And that's the whole thing. You can blame the landlord so much. Oh, yeah. Scott, you got my ball?
Yeah, it's right there.
Right where?
Oh.
One of those days. I must be hitting that mic again. But actually, as you can see, Dave, Jim and his wife, Mary LeMay, and Tony came on the show, and they gave me this beautiful watch.
Nice, very nice.
And I got this nice bracelet. and I have a globe at home with a little unicorn in it, and I have this pyramid that they gave to me.
Wow, I like that.
And I have a nice picture and a poem that Dave wrote to me. I mean, that James wrote. So I was really, truly blessed.
Yeah.
I've been really blessed with all the people. I complain, I bitch, I moan and groan about different things, but that's who I am, you know.
Yeah.
But when you live, and I want to thank everybody out there for the beautiful gifts and the well wishes that I got, and for thanking and wishing well for my son, because my son has been going through some
Keep them coming.
Yeah, and when, you know what? The best healing medicine is the prayers and the energy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. I don't call it God, but we don't. You don't have to call it God. Call it the universal healing energy. Call it anything. But and just be aware that you can get better if you want to.
And how?
It's all in believing with your attitude.
Well, the body's made to heal itself. Sometimes, people think it's like, we'll go back to TV. They watch these ads for these medications. It's too easy for them. All I have to do is take a pill.
And then, but if you read the side effects,
you end up dead.
Yeah, that's a scary part. Or the doctor will make you'll have the same med and cataract with another one, and then you wonder why you're not getting any better.
Yeah.
And it's a real touchy thing when it comes to medication, and that's why, like my son says, they call it practicing doctors, because it's aren't we actually, all of us, when we go to the doctor's office in one way, aren't we kind of like guinea pigs? They're using experimental drugs or some drugs they're not aware of.
That's true. That's why I don't really go unless I have to.
Yeah.
I go for my yearly checkup. Other than that, unless I really, really need to, I don't go. I don't go. And then for meds, Norm, I do natural supplements.
Yeah. That's why my son insisted, my daughter-in-law insisted, because I'm the same way. I'm glad I did.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with having doctors. There's nothing wrong if they can learn how to have that natural healing with the doctor's healing too.
Right.
I mean, obviously you need doctors. You got a broken leg or what I had,
exactly. That's
cancer or whatever.
Yeah.
I said had, with cancer. So I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to say I have it. If you say you got it, it's going to say. If you say you had it, then it's not going to.
That's true. That's right.
And then today I went shopping for the first time, bought all new clothes. Usually I go to Family, and I have nothing against Family Outfitters or any other thrift shop, because you can find some very good deals. But I just said, I'm going to treat myself to something
good
new.
for you. Look how nice you look.
I'm gorgeous. What do you expect? When you got it, honey, you got it, and you got it, right? And it's all in your attitude. And everything in life is your attitude.
That's true. That's true. It is. It certainly is.
You can sit down and say, I can never get better, or I'm going to never get richer, or I'm always going to be poor me. I wasn't a social butterfly. I'd go out, but I knew that, and I think you did too, I knew that no matter where I was, I just didn't fit in. When you have the spiritual levels that we have, it's very hard to fit in with other people.
Well, it's funny you say that, because looking back, it's sort of like, I don't know what it was. I didn't fit in, or I felt different, but now looking back, now I realize why I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel the same, but looking back, I know what it is, why I do feel different, or why I don't think I might fit in. But knowing the reason why is, smooths everything.
A whole
out.
new ball game.
Yeah, it really is.
And you can complain, you can moan, you can groan about this country. You're sitting on your buttock and not doing anything. You're just as guilty as they are, for you're allowing it to happen.
I agree. Like I tell everybody, Facebook all the time. I can't say it enough. I drive for Lyft. I tell people that are in my car when I'm driving them for Lyft. I'll tell everybody now again, call your elected officials from the White House down. Call them. If you like what they're doing, call, let them know. If you don't like what they're doing, call, email them, let them know.
Yeah.
That's why, Norm, I have this conversation with people, and that's why they pull this crap that they pull, because they figure, well, nobody cares anyway. Which
And
is
that's
sad.
true,
It's sad. It is. It's true. They don't care. My sister's a big one for that. All she does is the same thing: moan, complain, poor me, poor us. What are they doing? I've talked to her. I can't tell you how many times. Oh, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call. She promised me she was gonna call last week. The day she was gonna call. What's the point? But
And people keep hounding your elected officials. They're going to start listening.
that's true. That's right.
Okay? I'm a firm believer that one person can make a difference.
That's true. Good case in point. 72% of people polled are against what's going on down the border. What are they going to do now? Start constructing the wall.
Yeah,
again.
isn't that, yeah. That
Because
would have been done by
that's-
now.
People are screaming about it to their politicians. That's why.
And now they're going to have to put people back to work to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we can only get them to open up the pipelines,
One step at a time.
Yeah.
I know, really.
Well, I think they were put on notice that if they want to run the country, run it right, and if they want to be reelected, they got to start reversing their decisions and making it work.
Right. Well, hopefully, I got my fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
Well, all we can do. Well, the one part about it, the higher power up there has everything under control.
That's true. That's true. But
He's allowing people to hang themselves.
Well, he is. That's because you know why? They all throw him aside. They're throwing him under the bus. So, and I keep saying this too, Norman, but it's true. You take God out of the equation, he's out of the equation. Satan steps right in to take his place, and look what's going on.
Yeah. Well, look what's happening when once they took the prayer out of schools, and you can pray songs. I don't even think you can even pray to yourself. And bow your head and pray without in theory.
Yeah.
But yet, other religions like the Muslim, they can go on and get their rug and pray.
That's right. I know. Well, people let it. That's because people
let 'em.
sit back and let it happen.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a place where one of my friends worked. He would bring his prayer rug and go behind the machine and start praying instead of doing the job, and
Right.
you can't stop him because of freedom of religion.
Right. Until it comes to you being a Christian, then there isn't.
Oh, yeah. But what is a Christian?
Huh?
What is a Christian?
Christian, I'm one right here. I believe in God. I have faith. The Christian faith. I have the 10 Commandments that I believe in, unlike some religions that don't believe in the 10 Commandments, that call themselves a religion, crock. I believe in God, the higher power.
What is that Christian?
Well,
if you
for me
define,
it
but
is.
yeah, to me, a Christian is someone who, if you're going to preach the Bible, you're going to live and call yourself a Christian, you need to live the part. In other words, you can't be judging of other people.
Well, that's true.
You can't be gossiping about other people. I like to gossip, so I don't. And according to,
I don't do too much of that at all for that reason.
and according to what these so-called, if you got married more than once, you're not a true Christian. If you if you
Catholic for sure. If you get divorced.
No, yeah, that's
want to get married again.
Yeah, you have to have your. I tried that. I went on my last marriage. I went to have it annulled just to see what they would tell me, and they told me that I had been married too many times and they couldn't take it serious. I said to them, kidding around, I said, well, I was going to give you $25,000. Boy, you want to see him try to bring the paperwork out? I said, but you already answered my question. Who are we to tell someone they can't get married? Who are we to tell somebody that it's against religious Bibles or whatever? I can't judge anybody.
You what?
I can't judge anybody.
Well, I can't either. However,
I do, but
well, especially what we sort of do when we do readings.
Yeah.
I don't consider it judging, but people say, well, you judge people. Not real. I don't consider it judging. I'm telling them
when I see it.
right with the energy they're extracting that I'm receiving from them. I'm commenting on that. If you call it judging, well, then it's judging. I don't see it as judging.
I don't either. You ask me a question, or I talk to the spirit from above, and no, because I do that, now that's supposed to be the devil when you do the card readings and all that other stuff, you know. And I always, now, and if they read the Bible correctly, and I think I'm correct, thou shalt not judge others, unless ye shall be judged.
That's true. That's right.
See, folks, even though I do psychic readings and spiritual readings, I do know some about my Bible. You know,
and me.
I lived that way for a long time.
Well, you still are, whether you realize it or not.
But trying to live the so-called Christian way of life and all that was just not who I was. I was very unhappy. But I'm going to tell you, no, just because I didn't live it or I tried to live it doesn't mean nobody else should. But if you're going to preach something to somebody, you damn well have to live that yourself.
Well, that's like, people give me crap because, I'm Catholic and I do the cards, crystal ball. Talk about being judgmental, Norm. And it's just like, well, wait a minute. I'm not, who are you to judge me?
Right.
To me, this isn't, taboo or voodoo or any of that. When I read the cards, the crystal ball, and when I connect spiritually, with people that have gone to the other side, you're bringing joy, fulfillment, you're giving people direction, they're getting a nice, wholesome sort of sense of themselves, whereas, if it wasn't for people like us,
Jesus was a prophet.
Well, I know that's right. And what do they say? Right? What do they always tell you? Try to live as much like Jesus as you can.
Yeah.
So.
Am I perfect? No. Nor do I want to be.
Right. Exactly.
Every day is a learning experience. Whether you believe it or not, like if I do a reading on someone, I'm learning from them as well as they're learning from me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole new ballgame and a whole new beginning, and it's all up to us. I don't think my friend Don's going to come in today. Oh, well. We can carry it through.
We can.
If anyone wants a reading, give us a call at area code 603-640-3091.
I got, tarot cards.
Give them a reading.
Psychic oracle cards. I got a crystal ball I can
I'll
look
do it
in.
without the... And you give Dave have Dave give you a reading and watch his hair grow.
There you go. That's right. I'll get something out of it. That's right.
Yeah. The thing is, we like what we do.
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
Yeah. I enjoy, if I can help someone feel better about themselves and get the answers they need to hear, I will never, ever tell you I'm 100% right, because I'm not.
Right, me either.
I'm not God.
Exactly. Well, I'm
handsome, but I'm not God.
When I do the reading, some people will say, well, so-and-so, I got a reading from so-and-so and blah, 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 and they said, they were 100% correct. And I always tell them, I go, if they're telling you that they're always 100% on, I says, they're lying.
I tell people to stay away from them.
Right, and me, they're lying.
And then I let them record or take notes.
Right, and me.
And because if a couple of people that I know went to a couple of readers, they refuse to them take notes or record it.
See,
and then they must have something to hide.
Right. The only thing I do when I do tarot, the psychic cards is one thing, but when I do the tarot and they want to ask if they can record or take notes, I always tell them, please keep in mind, we'll say like the Ace of Swords, what it means to me could have 5 different meanings to 5 different tarot readers. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But
I gotta go when I get done here. I gotta take some Advil. I'm in a lot of pain. Oh, but I'll make it.
You will.
Yeah. But it's up to us to get. I'm very hard on myself. Are you?
Not as much as I used to be, but yeah, I'm pretty, sort of rigid. But before I was very extremely hard on myself, and I was beating myself up all the time.
And that, like I went and I bought some new clothes today. And don't usually.
Good for you.
And I kept
yeah.
saying, "Do I really deserve it? Should I?" I'm worried about should I spend my money on this or that or this or that
Yeah.
instead of. But then I said, you know what? I'm treating myself.
Good for you.
And I went out and bought a new TV. And I said, Scott, do I really deserve all this? Because I've never had anybody tell me that growing up that this is what you deserve. Always bad things.
Right. Yeah.
So when I start thinking about the good things that I'm having, then then I say, yeah, I do deserve it.
Yeah.
And that's all. I've never met so many people out there or realized how many people out there have cancer.
There's quite a few,
It's got to be one of the number one diseases.
I would say. I mean, it's everywhere you turn. You hear about it. You read about it. Someone you know has got it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Scott has been so good. He helped me take care of the bandages and make sure I'm eating. Doesn't listen to me when I'm bitching and moaning and groaning. He goes ahead and I'll say, I'll get mad and say, well, don't fix anything they did. I'm not going to eat it. He goes ahead and fixes it anyway,
Good.
and I end up eating it.
All right. Good for Scott.
Yeah.
See, you look fortunate.
He's my rock. And then I have my son and daughter-in-law, and my son's going through a lot of physical issues right now. They found a hole in his throat.
Oof.
And he's a non-smoker. So I get upset when they say that cigarette smoking. I'm not saying it doesn't help to contribute to the cancer, but like I'm a non-smoker, so don't tell me that it's all cancer, it's all from cigarette smoke. No.
Right.
There's all kinds of, I believe there's a lot of air problems. Like when they filmed for the jets, when they said like the microwave, the energy, it has to be affecting us in the air.
I agree, but you just made something go. No, when I was a kid, a long time ago, right? I mean, a kid.
Not a long time ago, huh?
A long time ago. I had an apartment in East Boston on Maverick Street, right? So it was a triple deck. It was on the third floor, Norm, right? Here's the street. On the other side of the street, there was no houses. There was a fence and the runway to Logan Airport. And I remember you could smell jet fuel all the time.
Well, that's where I
Knock
live.
on wood, no cancer.
Now then, that's like where I live. Out in the back is all pretty fresh. When I go out into the front of the apartment building I live at, and you can smell the carbon dioxide, the oil, the garage smell. And then I look out in the park, and there's not one person wearing a mask.
No, well, good. I like to see that though, because people are getting more confident and more comfortable, and more fed up with these restrictions.
It's the ones that haven't tell you to wear. That's what I get upset about. If you're going to tell me to wear a mask, then you should be wearing one too.
I agree. That's right. I never tell anyone to wear a mask.
No. The only time I wear it when I go, like when we went to House on the restaurant today,
Right.
If I go to the market basket, I wear my mask. And wherever I go, like I went to Kohl's, I wore a mask. Out of respect.
Right. Well, I
always necessarily agree with it, but out of respect.
Right. Well, that's me. If I'm going with somewhere and it says mask required for entry, I put the mask on, but I don't put it over my nose.
No.
Just
no. Yeah. Because like when I went to Kohl's, I had a good time at Kohl's shopping, and the people were very courteous out there and all that stuff.
Good.
Do you ever go to Kohl's?
I haven't been to Kohl's. I bet it's got to be 20 years, Norm.
You get some good deals here. This is a $60 shirt. I got it for $15.
Nice, it is. I like that shirt.
The pants were like $90. I got it for $20. Plus, I got a discount for being a senior. I guess that's the advantage of being a senior citizen.
See, I didn't know that. I should go there now, too, knowing that you get a discount for that.
Yeah. Hey, money saved.
Yeah.
I actually applied for a credit card, so I got a 23%.
Oh, no.
I don't expect to get the credit card. No, I know I really want to.
They'll give it to you, though. Yeah.
But I don't trust myself. I'll just cut it in half.
Oh, well, they'll give it to you because as soon as you say Social Security, retirement, guaranteed income, give them a card.
I had one lady one time, I was out grocery shopping, speaking of Social Security, okay? And I had earned some extra money through the readings that I do. So I thought, well, I'm going to get some meats and stock up and all that. One lady goes, well, you must be on the food, whatever they call it, food card, food welfare, or
Oh,
whatever. I call it.
EBT card, the EBT
Yeah,
card.
is that what it is? Okay. And I looked at her and said, what are you talking about? She said, well, look at all you. I said, no, I earn my living.
Yeah.
I said, and furthermore, I'm not on welfare. I said, my Social Security, I earned it.
That's right.
I don't get help from the government. And I actually pay for the insurance, and I have Social Security insurance and all that, you know. And I said, I'm like you, sweetheart. I don't depend on food card.
Good for you.
You want to see her take off?
Oh, yeah. Right, that's right.
I have never, maybe I'm just becoming more aware of obesity. Matt and I actually talked about it one time when he was on my show. He was a co-host. And there is a lot of obese people.
There is a lot of obese people. A lot.
I think a lot because of the chemicals that are in the food, the process and stuff like that.
I agree.
And then they make sure they put that junk food right out, right at you, and jump in. Buy me, mind me, you know.
Right, I know.
You know, and I could hear. And this one person was on one of those shopping carts you ride around on. I felt so bad for that shopping cart. I swear I was going to cry because all it could do was to pull that person around.
Yeah.
No, I'm not knocking obese people, folks. There are some people that cannot help it. They have some, like, a glandular problem or thyroid, maybe some medication or whatever. But when you are gluttonary, then I have a problem.
Well, exactly. And there's a lot of that out there, no.
And I was heading that way. Now,
And me with the pandemic, you should have
Well, he
seen
got
this several
quite a-
months
yeah.
ago. It's still
Right,
pretty
yeah.
bad, but it was...
well, he got quite a gut down, folks, after coming from the house of pizza. He ate 2 of them.
yeah.
2 pieces, there we go. But, you know, we've got, the people in this country have got to stop buying all this processed food. The problem with organic food is so expensive that one can really afford to buy it. If you have a place where you can have your own garden, that would be the best bet. But who
Right,
knows?
yeah.
You know? And if you could have at all, excuse me, a nutritionist told me that when you buy canned goods, make sure you rinse them off in cold water really well.
For what?
Like if you buy peas out of a can,
Oh, really? I buy frozen vegetables.
I like that too. But if you
Yeah.
happen to buy, the canned
Oh,
goods,
wow, yeah.
but spray them all off because you get rid of all the salt, all the sodium, and
yeah.
all the other stuff. You know, so there is a way to help yourself. You know, Scott did it super well, making sure I ate all that. But I also had to help myself, too. And you have to want to get better.
That's true. That's true. You do.
You know,
You do.
you can have people, you can have all the medication in the world, but until you stop and say, you know what, I have to get better. So many people, oh, I'm having an anxiety attack, or I'm having this, I got to go take that medication. And isn't the medication, it's you.
You. That's right.
The medication isn't causing you to have an anxiety attack. That's like with alcohol and me. And once I'm, oh, well, I need to have a drink because that way it can calm down.
Yeah.
You know, and it was all me.
Right. Yeah.
We are our own worst enemy.
For sure. For sure. That's
Okay.
true.
We
Yep.
can, and every day is a new experience for me. I'm saddened that it took me 65 years to learn this. You know, to start the last 10 years, I've learned a hell of a lot.
You're
And
not
I'm
that
still
old.
learning. And I'm still learning, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I don't watch the news.
I don't watch the news. I might watch maybe 10 minutes of the local news until I see the
Yeah.
forecast,
Yeah.
and then
I watch
That's it for
Steve
me.
Gardner on YouTube because he tells you about the stimulus check. I think we got one more coming. One more stimulus check.
why?
They talked about putting one more on. Hey, I'm not going to go play if they want to send it.
Right, but it's a shame that look at what they're doing. The politicians, they think they just bought everybody off
That's
for
why they're doing it.
$1,400 with their own money. It's our money, and people now. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm not one, and you're not one, but there's people out there. They got their own $1,400, their own money, and they think these politicians are God.
Yeah. It is your money, folks.
I
Remember
know.
that. And when you're buying something, you're actually paying it back. Like I bought a TV. I'm actually paying it back through the company I bought the TV from.
Right.
you know. And when I went to Kohl's, I bought, and, you know, I don't believe, you know, I'm grateful that the government gave it to us, the people in there, and I believe that you have to use it wisely.
True.
So many would just go out and have a party or whatever, and
That
I
crossed
suppose,
my
but it's up
mind.
to them, you know. I try to buy things like I'm going to be doing my whole apartment over and my
Nice.
own, you know,
Yeah.
stuff. Make it worthwhile.
Exactly.
When I used to drink, I could care less, you know. And where I've been, we've been there almost 14
Wow.
years,
Yeah.
and time started to mean, you know, and the landlord doesn't say anything. It's not costing him any money.
Right. Exactly.
You
That's
know?
true.
And so, an economy, and if I can make my house, and I'm doing it for me and Scott. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it for anybody else.
Right.
I used to do it for, otherwise people will think me, you know, and I don't want to be embarrassed by other people coming in
Right.
and not
Yeah.
looking good.
Exactly.
You know.
I know.
When you start doing things for you and yourself,
Mhm.
or me and I, and remember that movie, Me and I and Irene? Never see that one when Jim,
Oh, right. Oh, that was
Yeah.
it was filmed in Rhode Island. That
Yeah.
was real funny.
Yeah.
That's right.
I won't watch him anymore.
Oh, me either.
Not after what he said about our country.
Me either.
I can't.
And I
That's
one of
what
mine is
Robert
Canadian.
Gennaro,
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
To top it off.
yeah, Robert Gennaro, when he was going blank Trump and all that. I'm sorry,
Right.
I can't do that. If you can't respect our country, I can't our president, and then I can't respect you.
I agree. I mean, they're entertainers. It's, you know, keep your politics to yourself. You know, entertain me. That's not entertainment.
No, it's not. When he wants to say Robert Gennaro wants to say Ansel Carl, he said all he could do was slam Trump.
Right.
When I was watching Whose Line Is It Anymore, and one of the TV show, and all they did, and everyone thought it was funny, slam Trump.
That's
And I refuse to do that.
sickening. I know.
What are they accomplishing? And now the funny part is, when Trump was president, and as far as I'm concerned, he still is, when they were shutting down the child pornography and the sex trafficking, and all these great entertainers are moving out of the country, and they're going here.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg is going to go to Canada.
Oh,
and
I
all-
wish she would.
Yeah, you know, don't talk about it. Do it.
Really, I know. I bet you she still owns her big place in Vermont.
Yeah, and you know, and they're making more money by slamming this. I don't understand it. I wonder how many of them actually got their starts in different hotel Trumps are owned. And now then Coca-Cola wants to talk about making this country less white.
Oh, please.
And my question, I don't know if you saw it on Facebook. God, I'm gorgeous. Aren't we gorgeous? I mean, look at us. Huh? Oh, man, wait a minute.
What a
What
glow.
is that?
Look at that
I
aura.
know. Look at that. Now. When the cats meow, and that what they call
That's
it.
right.
By the way, you have a lot of yellow in your aura.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you have a lot of blue.
Oh, thanks. I like blue.
The aura that you have is a healing energy.
Oh, good.
Okay, and when
See,
you have that healing energy, it's pretty cool. I got
Nice.
Liz coming back on the show in May.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Good.
I
You
got
know, I
most of
see
that.
auras, but I don't see colors.
Really? I see a lot of different colors.
But I think maybe, you know, because I've just been starting to see them. I'm going to say maybe within the past year, but I notice it's getting more and more and more.
When they have dark colors, then I get a little worried. Like if they have like a dark red or a dark black.
I read
or
about
that,
it, yeah.
You know, 'cause that means it's coming from, you have a lot of emotional problem that you have to get rid of in order to do it. When I tell people, when I said they have a lot of anger issues or their children might have a lot of anger issues, what I do is I tell them, like a lot of them, get a punching bag.
Ah, yeah.
Get
Really?
all that. I am so angry, and I won't use the word because we're on TV, you know, and
Exactly,
do
yeah.
this, do that, do this, do that, do that, do this, blah, 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 you know?
Right.
And, no, well, I didn't like my math test today. I got a bad score. So, what, you know, or, you know, no, I'm not going to say you teach. Well, you could, your teacher just jump it out on the punching bag.
Right.
Or if you play an instrument, play like hell on your drums. Beat the hell out of your drums.
I like that Todd Rundgren song, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
And-
want to bang on the drum all
Yeah,
day.
or artwork. Do art. A lot of times I'll tell them to do artwork because you'll be amazed at how many will start out with really dark, heavy colors, and then as they progress, it'll turn lighter and lighter and lighter. when I do a lot of teaching on how to work with your psychic ability, who you are,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I do is I have them draw a tree. And then I have, like, the next person describe what the tree looks like to them. What's the energy of the tree? What is the energy of
I
that?
can't draw, Norm.
You don't have to.
Oh.
Just how you draw it.
Oh.
Okay? You know, believe me, I'm not an
Mine will
artist.
look like a second grader.
That's okay. Mine looks like, but you got your energy in it. You got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
One person drew a tree with me, and I went a little nut with it, and me still a lost soul, and there's a whole, searching for the whole, And it's very interesting how different people, you may draw this tree, but 5 or 6 people will get the different meanings from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and there are many ways. Write out your emotion, feel it. If it's not spelt right, if it looks like a bunch of, well, today I went blah 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 down to the tree where I left the half. I'm very good at leaving words out, and I have to rewrite it. And people see it on Facebook, but when you're writing out your anger, don't rewrite, don't correct it, leave it the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're doing is you're expressing how you feel.
Yeah.
If you're really angry and I can't do this blank anymore, I've had it, I'm going to shoot it off to the moon or whatever. Write out your true feelings.
Exactly.
Because there are many, many people out there that are like volcanoes ready to explode.
Well, I used to be like that, and believe me, and I would explode. Whoa.
Isn't it amazing as we get older, we have our attitude? Yeah. Sometimes it could be worse or it could be better. But where you and I do what we do, I think it really... But we had to go on that journey.
And how? Well, to get here, you do. We really did.
And when I laid in was in the hospital all night, which was enough for me 2 nights in a row. I was ready to go home.
I don't mean to laugh, but it would be enough for me, too.
But I'm thinking, I don't want my life to be this way. I don't want to be laying in a bed bedridden.
Yeah.
I really, and I don't want to be catered. Even though I am spoiled, I'm catered to now. I'm very fortunate. Scott spoils the hell out of me, and I'll be sitting there watching TV. I'm not going to eat today, blah, 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 blah. He brings the meal in anyway.
See, good
then I end up eating it, And then when you had the right person, the right friends, you had no other choice but to get better.
Well, because whether you like it or not, they make you have a good attitude.
Absolutely.
They make you have a good attitude.
And they tell me I do that with them, too. Well, isn't that what we should be doing, helping others?
I agree.
Because if you're helping yourself, when you're helping others, aren't you actually helping others?
Right.
And you're helping yourself, too. When you look and say, oh, my God, I am so gorgeous. You are.
That's right. There's another old song. You're just as pretty as you feel.
Well, honey, I am on top of the world, having a ball. Remember that song?
I don't remember that song. No, what was that?
I'm sitting on top of the world, having us feeling 6 feet tall.
Oh, now, yeah, I do remember it.
Glory,
Yeah.
hallelujah. I go on the Facebook, on the YouTube a lot in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I love to watch these flash mobs.
We should do one. We'll do one.
Yeah. They're not violent. The flash mob is when you jump out into like a mall or an airport or in the singing, and they have these people come all from all different areas of that area, and they're singing, and they're not killing each other, they're not fighting, they're all singing happy, happy songs, and there's so much love out there.
There is. Speaking of flash mobs, Norm, this would take a little planning, but wait, we could really freak people out. We could have a flash mob on the subway, and we could pray, or we could have another flash mob and do a Pledge of Allegiance, or we could do another flash, all on the subway, of course. Because I'd love to see the reaction.
Actually, where I live, we had a unitary, we had a prayer on the bridge.
Really? See, that's good.
And if we could get, or there's an American flag over by the parkway, I'd love to get a bunch of people bring their instrument. Folks, help me with this. Help me to decide. Maybe we could all work together. And having Dave, you're invited, and Gary, and
Thanks.
we can do, and we can sing like "God Bless America."
America or a Star Spangled Banner,
Banner,
the
yeah.
regular one, not the, what's the other one? The
I don't wanna-
African American
no,
Star.
No. This is the American side. And
Well, it's all inclusive.
We'll get on stage and we'll do a male stripper dance type.
Well, there you go. That's how we'll get them there. That will
There
be
you
the
go.
law.
No, run away.
Bait
But
and
no.
switch.
But what do you I'm working on that. I am.
Yeah.
I'm getting it going through my mind. We'll have
Good.
to have dinner some night or lunch, and we'll work on it. And we'll get to
Yeah.
what we have to do. You get a lot, and folks. Please, if you got any ideas to have this, everybody getting together, we'll invite the mayor and
Whoever else.
yeah,
Right.
my alderman will
Yeah.
invite people, and we'll be non-political. Non-political. It will be.
Well, we'll make it non-political, but the people who don't agree with us will make it political.
Well, that's their problem. We don't ignore
yeah.
them. But getting together and maybe singing, 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
I don't know if they rehearse or what they do, but it's so awesome. Maybe somebody can play the trumpet, someone can play the accordion, someone can play the piano, whatever. This is my goal.
That will be quite the flash mob.
We can do it.
Well, that's true. That's true because they do it. So why couldn't
If
we?
they can do it in another country, why can't we do it in Manchester, New Hampshire,
There you-
or in
that-
Londonderry?
That's right. I
We
agree.
can go to the airport.
That's true. That's true.
But
If
if
we
you're
went to
go-
Logan, they'd probably lock us
Yeah.
up.
But we can do it over here. And I think it'd be cool going to different parks.
Hmm.
My son
Yeah.
suggested in that, And think of the love. Think of that.
Yeah,
If we could
that's
all
right.
harmonize and just have a good time, having a good time, bring in your hot dog, bring in, whatever, I don't care what.
Yeah.
No alcohol, of course. But you can do it after that.
Okay. All right.
But if you're going to come in there with creation of trouble or problems, don't come.
Right. Stay clear. I agree.
I don't
Stay
want the
clear.
negative, blah, 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 blah. Even though it might help you if you come in with a negative. But if we can all get in there, somebody might do a dancing or whatever, just at the spur of the moment type of thing.
I agree, and
You
I'll
know?
bring my tools for afterwards.
There you go.
So-
And we can just make it a day if you want, or just
Sure,
make it just have fun.
I love stuff like that. You know why? Because it's all positive.
Yeah.
I feed on that. I absorb
I
it
don't
all.
care what you believe in. I don't care if you're Catholic, Protestant, atheist. Unfortunately, I don't know what. I don't care. As long as you come in with a peaceful attitude.
Right.
Don't all be all in the bad. I will never say they are. That's like not all KKK people are bad. Not all the supremacists are bad. No, there's not all bad in any group.
True.
It's how the people are led.
Right. Yeah.
And if we are led in a bad way, we're going to follow the
Right.
bad way.
You're gonna get crap now though, because you said there's good people in KKK, and after what their philosophy is.
But who started the KKK?
Well, I know Democrats.
That's right. Who started freeing the slaves? Abraham Lincoln was a Republican.
That's right.
And he
I
got
don't want to hear it
assassinated.
though. I know. By a Democrat.
Yeah. Well, stop blaming
And I'm
the
non-political.
name-
I'm non-political.
Stop blaming the Democrats. Stop blaming the Republicans. Stop blaming, and I'm just as guilty. Every individual has their own mind. You do have pack leaders, you do have people that, let's go and blow up the temple,
Right.
or let's go and blow up the church,
Yeah.
or let's go do, for what reason? What the hell are you accomplishing?
Exactly. But that's some people, they grew up, it's hate. They hate. Which I don't know how anybody, they talk about words that they don't like. I mean, I don't care what side you're on. The word hate, who's ever using that, and there's a lot of them. You talk about that's a supremacist word, and I'm not talking about white supremacist either.
No.
Whatever category you're in, it's a supremacist word. Hate. Oh,
I don't know. I always used to say, I hate this or I hate that, but I don't. I don't know how to hate. I don't want to learn how to hate.
me either. I never use the word either. I always tell everybody I dislike. I don't hate. I
There's a guy
dislike.
upstairs that if I knew the word hate, how it could, I wouldn't. But I dislike what he does immensely.
Right.
I don't like him driving into the parking lot like a speed demon. I don't like a lot of things that go
Well, he could squash the cat, God forbid.
Oh,
You,
he would nah.
yeah, really.
That would be a no on his part. Trust me. Okay.
Yeah.
I've lived in the dark arts. I know how to do the dark art. Everybody knows how to do the dark art if they want to. What people don't realize that if you're saying, "Oh, I wish so and so would hurry up and die" or whatever that, you are actually helping that person to die.
That's true.
Because the train of thought, or the spiritual thought, can help progress it. It took me many years to learn how to let go of the resentments. And I'm sure I still have some. We all do.
Everybody does.
I'm sure there are people
human
that
nature.
Yeah. I'm sure there are people, God only knows why, that hate me or dislike me too. You know,
Right.
you and I are such lovable people.
Exactly.
You know,
That's right. I know.
But
Yeah.
when you know, 9 out of 10, when they dislike themselves or hate it, or dislike or hate others, look in your mirror and figure out why you're doing it.
That's true. That's exactly right.
And look at, oh, I don't believe in these readers. That's okay. You don't have to believe in me.
Exactly.
I'm not going to tell you to believe in me. Well, God
That's me.
doesn't want you to do this. Well, who are you to tell me what God wants me to do?
Well, this is my comeback for that, because people have told me that. If God didn't want me to be doing this, I wouldn't be doing it. That's that simple. I would not be
He
doing
would
it.
take it away from you.
Wouldn't have that gift. That's right. You know, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't have this gift. Help me out here. You know,
To do what you're doing.
right, to this level. It wouldn't be developed. This
Right,
developed.
developing. And
If he didn't want me to.
the only thing I
do
find
this.
very insulting to me, this is just to me, and they charge you, a lot of the people charge you exorbitant amount of prices to take classes.
That's true. They do, and even worse since COVID. Norm, they used to be like, we'll say, in person for workshops. I know this firsthand. In-person workshops, 2 hours. A lot of places, 20 or 25 bucks. Now, since COVID, an hour and a half, and it's on Zoom. I wouldn't mind. I can't stand Zoom. It's on Zoom. 35 bucks, 40 bucks. Some of them, 45 bucks. You kidding me?
You can't promise these people. It's like when I went to hairdressing school. Oh, you're going to make thousands and thousands of dollars
Yeah, but you
overnight.
did.
And it doesn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I should have. And it's like, oh, I'm a reader now, so I'm going to make lots of money. Or I do Reiki energy. I'm going to make lots of money. Okay? Folks, you know what? Oh, if you're every time I've been very blessed, I've been finally starting to see myself above water. It's been a long struggle. I did not become, I like to tell myself successful, and I'm still learning how to be more successful.
Right.
So I can tell you, I'm very humble at home. Do I deserve this? And and Scott says, yeah, my son will say, yeah, because I realize now that the higher power or energy will not give us anything that we don't deserve.
That's true.
Whether it's bad energy, whether it's good energy.
Exactly,
you know,
right.
I often think, why am my son and I and my daughter-in-law being punished for the pain that we go through? But I'm a true believer now. When the cancer that I had that's going away, I'm not even going to say I have it anymore.
No, you don't.
No,
you don't.
And I had to go through this experience so that I could help and have special feeling for others. When I was blind, I had to go through it. Everything in our life we have to go through with a lesson.
That's true. Well, you go through that, and now when you're doing your readings, right, you'll be able to sort of gear into that little category a little more and give somebody a lot more insight and security and feel good about themselves.
I did a reading last night at 7 o'clock from California. And I always put humor in when I do readings.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll be referred to him, sometimes a dirty old man. And make my own self blush. No. But you have to know how to talk to the people.
That's true.
You can't just come out and blurt it all out. I've also had people
Well, I do that. I tell people I'll just keep on going, so jump in.
Yeah. And
But I do.
yeah, when
Not all
like if I'm a dirty old man, you have to know how to read and make sure that they have a good sense of humor
right,
and all that. Or if I want somebody from beyond, on the other side, I'll say to them, I have a certain spirit. Spirit, do you want to talk to them? And if the person I'm doing a reading on doesn't want to talk to them, then I'm not going to do it.
Huh.
Okay, I'm not going
That's
to.
a nice tip. Thanks. I have to remember that.
Remember to
Yeah.
always ask them first. Okay, and I learned that from another person. So, but I can remember I used to do readings without asking them. One of my very dear friends, Patty Pingree, I wish you could meet her. She's beautiful, and she said you didn't ask my permission to do a reading on me, and she was right.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't mean that. Like when you said when I get a connection, to tell somebody a little bit up front.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting. Do you want me to continue with this connection?
Yeah. Or they're going to say yes or no.
Right.
I can remember one time I had a lady that did a reading. I want you to talk to my father. I said, "Are you sure?" Because I could feel the energy wasn't a happy energy.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I described him. I try to describe him. Okay, and I told him. I said, he wants to know what you did with the $250,000 that you were supposed to divide up with the other kids. She literally took off out the door.
I believe it. Yeah, they do. They do.
There's a woman, with your permission, that's not very tall. She had reddish hair. Did your mother have reddish hair?
No.
Okay. Who's the woman that had reddish hair?
Well, I'm thinking you're going on psychic now because keep going and I'll tell you exactly who it is as soon as you said it.
Yeah. She's let me know. She doesn't understand what you're doing. Because you've always been a very confusing person.
Huh. British hair.
And but she also loves and supports whatever you do. Okay? And she has a real Irish accent. So it could be somebody from Ireland. It could be a spiritual angel or someone of great.
Well, now that you say it got an Irish accent, that could be a couple more people now.
And she also told me that she prays for your brother.
Ah, okay. All right.
She is I'm looking at possibly a great grandmother.
Wow.
You guys are from Ireland.
No. Wait.
Yes.
My niece, this is what gets me. I don't believe it. She did the thing on TV there. You spit in a cup and she says we're like, I don't know, gypsies. And this, it's like, huh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you have two spiritual guys that are from Ireland.
Oh, two spiritual. Oh, guides. Oh, I don't doubt. I don't doubt that.
They own a big bar. Maybe that's what you get.
Maybe that's why I like beer. There you go. They keep telling me, drink up, buddy.
I actually see you going to Ireland.
Well, I always wanted to go there, you know. And you know why I always wanted to go there? Because I always remember, this goes back from when everything goes back to when I was a kid. But I always remember Ireland, if you're American, you can go there and stay as long as you like without you can stay longer than 90 days, or you don't need a visa to keep staying because you're American, because they said how America helped Ireland. So that's why I always wanted to go, just for that reason.
Actually, you can go to Ireland. What's I'm going to say? That you can transfer yourself to Ireland in spirit.
I could what?
You can go to Ireland
in
a spiritual form, and you'll be amazed at what you will see.
Oh, and I've done that, though. I've done that. It's funny.
I love doing it. When I turn the trance, can't think of the word now. I've actually sat in my chair and gone into different hospitals and watched people operate.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, But we can transfer ourselves into different areas.
Well, you can,
but you can't be afraid of it.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people are. That's why they can't do it. But to me, and that just goes to prove that physically we leave, but we don't die, and it's hard to sort of get that point across because it's so simple.
When I was in my first surgery I had when I had my bladder taken care of, I actually died, and I saw the white light.
Did you?
Yeah, it was cool. They wouldn't let me.
So everybody says that.
Yeah,
they
wouldn't let me come back. I mean, I had to come back. So I know that my journey, no matter what it is, and I'm excited about it. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked Danger Dan, he wouldn't answer me.
Huh.
And I said, I asked him how long I had to live. This is what he said. He said, till you're 83. And he didn't want to answer that. If I didn't want you to answer it, I would have never asked you the question.
Right, but some of them,
There are times when I have a hard time when they'll ask me, and I'll have a lot. I see a lot of people have a long longevity line. I see a lot of them going over 100 years old. More and more.
I'm hoping for 80. Anyway, we'll see what happens if I get
You're
there.
not going to hope you're going to know. And you definitely are going over there, not between 95 and 100. Do you want to do 3 cards for the country while I'm going to the bathroom?
I'll do 3 cards of these, the psychic.
Yeah.
Because that, to me, is a little more sort of deeper than the tarot.
Okay.
I hope I don't make
How do you do it? You know, do 4 of them.
Do 4? All right, I'll do 4. I'll take them out one at a time, and that's how we're going to read them. And I'll do 4. And then if you take longer, I'll do 5.
There you go.
Okay, let's see. 4. All right, so first we start with trapped in fear. And of course, it's just going, to me, trapped in fear, it's all these people trapped in COVID fear. They watch the news. They believe everything they hear on the news about wear your mask, social distance. And they believe every single thing they hear on TV. Why? I don't know. All it is fear. Especially, you go on the street, you see they're walking up and down the street, people all by themselves, they're wearing a mask. If that's not living in fear, I don't know what is. And what's even a bigger and deeper fear than that is you see people riding in their cars, they're driving, they're the only ones in their automobile. They're wearing a mask. I mean, if that's not fair, I don't know what is. And don't ask me why people are that fearful, especially now supposedly the vaccines are going to, set you free. But even though they have, I don't know over 100 million people with vaccines already, why aren't we being set free? There's still, you watch TV, still fear-mongering. And the other thing, too, about masks, if they worked like they said they would, why is supposedly, quote-unquote, everybody catching COVID? So that's that. And then, see, so coming up now, it's fulfillment of wishes. This is for all the strong-willed people. We've all had enough of this fear with the mask and the COVID fear. So fulfillment of wishes, all right? So we're coming through. It's like a new entryway. We're going under the arch. We're crossing through. We're crossing the bridge, right? Like I said, the strong-willed people. We're calming down. We're realizing what a crock, like King Fauci. You know, it's ridiculous. So, really, keep it up because that's where we're headed, believe it or not, even though there's this group that doesn't want to believe it. And then here we go. Financial and material changes after this fearful past year or maybe a little bit longer living in COVID fear and having everything, the rug just yanked out from under our feet. We're finally getting back to financial and material stability. Everything is coming back. It's moving. We're getting rid of, some of us, getting rid of the fear. And, you know, enough is enough. So it's coming our way. And the financial, material changes, if you can already know, you can already notice it. And one of the ways you can notice, you can tell everything is improving is look at the traffic volume. Now, I'm going to say, just since the beginning of the year, drive around, go down 93, go anywhere between here and Boston, you'll see the volume of traffic improving. So with that improving, more people are out and about doing their thing, shopping, going back to work in the office or wherever it is they're going to work. Everything is improving. The financial is improving. They're expanding. And then here we are. Partnership and alliances. This is coming pretty soon. I'm going to say within a couple of months. Again, watch for big news in May or June. Something really, really big is going to happen. I keep saying it. I keep feeling it. It's just going to shock everyone. It's really going to wake everybody up. There's going to be no denying what's going on or the development that's happening. All right? So, again, partnerships and alliances. You got to have faith. You got to think positive, right? We're going to get through this regardless of what these fearmongers say. And it's just going to continue to progressively get better and better and more positive and more embracing of each other's regardless of what the media and certain political parties, how they want you to feel about one another. People are just going to have enough is enough is enough. And finally, what they're going to do is they're going to realize that instead of focusing on the differences that the media wants you to focus on and evil, satanic influenced politicians want you to think about each other, instead of, like I said, trying to making you focus on the differences all the time. Enough is enough is enough. We have to come together. Well, let's start looking at what we have in common, which is much, 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 much more than the differences we have, regardless of what these fearmongers and other people supposedly in leadership roles want you to believe or think or project or say to one another or embrace someone that you may think is different than you, but really has a lot more in common with you than you think.
Sounds interesting.
It was very interesting.
I love doing about the United States. I love doing about what people throughout the world can do. We can bring in hope. We can bring in peace. We can bring in love.
I did with all these cards except this one, just so you know real quick. Trapped in fear, right? COVID fear. Right?
That has gotten so... I'm not saying it's not real, folks. Don't misunderstand that, because it is real. But I think that the news media...
That's what I said.
And people who make them... They're making money.
King Fauci.
Yeah. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
No. He doesn't.
First they tell you to wear a double mask.
Wait, not only that. Wear a double mask. Still stay 6 feet apart. No going on spring break. No barbecues. No family outings. But yet, he hasn't mentioned one thing about closing the border.
No. Well, they're building the wall now.
Finally, I know. They've come into their senses.
Yeah.
They're coming to their senses. Yeah. Thank God.
Well, you know, I said, and I live right near the park, as you know. I'm nosy sometimes. I like being nosy.
So do I.
And I watch the children out there playing. I'm glad they're out there playing, but I think about what happens if they become mandated that everybody has to wear a mask, whether you're at the park, whether you're at the Hoochie Coochie show, or wherever you want to be. And I'm watching the little children having a good time.
That's right. They have a blast. The kids have a ball.
And I'm watching the adults. I said to one of them, because he got out of a Biden car.
Oh, poor thing. He was confused. He's confused.
Yeah. I said, but you're not wearing a mask, and Biden wants us all to wear a mask. Well, I won't tell you what he said to me. It wasn't very nice. People are turning around and realizing when a bunch of hooby-shooby, that's a new word, by the way.
What is it?
Hooby-shooby.
Hooby-shooby, yeah.
I make a lot of the new words.
That's all right. You can make them up.
That's what's fun about they're realizing, and I think that people that are supporting Biden are realizing what a disastrous mistake they made.
Well, the
Now
thing
they
is,
want to build a wall.
right, well, mistake isn't the word, but, I mean, really, they tell you how many votes he got, but how many people voted for him is two different things.
I find that
Yeah.
very interesting when, I was in shock when Merrimack, they had that fraudulent cases and
Oh, for 300 votes,
Yeah.
that's right.
in a little state. Or,
In a little town,
A
and
town.
that could be any town in America.
yeah, and look at here in Manchester, it makes me wonder how many were off the wall.
That's right. And I still find it amazing that 300 votes in Merrimack went to the, shall we say, the not the party that supposedly is in favor because of the last administration.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. It's
What they want you to do, folks, and don't stop doing it, they want you to stop voting.
well, so they can vote for you. They'll use your votes.
Yeah. And that way, I've always showed ID when I voted. Always.
You don't in mass.
You do here.
Right, I know, because I voted.
Yeah.
I voted in the town elections. I had to show ID. Big deal.
You show ID when you buy alcohol.
Well, that's what
I
gets me.
don't anymore. I'd like
Well,
to.
they don't ask me anymore.
Isn't that discouraging when you watch people and they say, "Oh, here they run it through"? Now I cannot believe that they have to show ID. You have to be 21 to buy cigarettes.
Imagine. That's
But
unbelievable.
but they can go out to war, and they have a right
Right.
to vote. They have a right to get married.
Right.
They have a right to have an abortion at 13.
Ugh.
But yet
You mean they
don't
have the right to murder?
Right. But yet you don't have the right to destroy your life with a cigarette.
Or a beer.
Or a beer.
I know. Really.
Now, I started drinking when I was 15, but that's okay.
I was
I
about
used to
the
at
same
17
age.
and 16. I used to go in, and they were in Wilmot, New Hampshire. They each had this little store. Really,
Yeah.
he was drunk all the time, so and walk in, he'd here sign a false name.
Yeah.
No ID, of course, you didn't have ID back then. Go buy 2 or 3 cases of beer, go out and have a party.
Yeah.
My foster father, because he was a retired judge, would get a call, and all that stuff. But now. I guess I don't understand the ways of the world, nor do I want to, I don't think.
Well, to me, it's, what, like the stuff that's going on, and we'll say like,
Can you give me a half of water?
the MLB moving, I'm just using it as an example because it's the most recent,
Yeah.
moving the All-Star game, right?
I guess I don't understand why they're doing that.
I don't either, but it's just a very
Good afternoon. Welcome to Norton's Community Corner.
Good afternoon, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, I'm doing really well. How are you doing? This is one of the
Not
ladies
too
that. This is one of the ladies that gave me my beautiful. Can you
Good.
see I'm wearing them, Mary?
Huh?
I'm wearing my watch,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm wearing my.
Oh, this is
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my bracelet,
Nice.
and I got my pyramid.
Cruz and Mary.
Cruising with Mary.
Oh,
she's
cruising with
Oh,
Mary.
she was
All
a
right.
cruise. You're right. She was a cruiser.
I was.
But James wrote me a beautiful poem.
Mhm.
I got it all on Facebook.
Very nice.
Yeah. And how are you doing today, Mary?
Pretty good, pretty good. I had to get out early because I had to go get blood because I see the doctor Friday and everything, so she had to have it.
Uh-huh.
And the other doctor wanted something else with it, so I had to go back and get it the second time for more blood.
Yeah, yeah. And my son had to see a specialist. They found a hole in the throat.
Oh, my goodness.
And seems like
Yeah,
when
he
it
was
hits a
saying
family
that.
members, it hits all family members. Mary is like an adopted sister to me.
But she's worrying. Mary, I can feel you worrying a lot. I could feel some worry with you.
Yeah, I do. You know, it's just normal for me.
Oh, okay.
But I am my mother's daughter, as they say, and my mother did the same thing. So I take after my mother.
All right. Well, you got an excuse, so.
Mary, and we bought Mary's cat, especially Mary's cat, chicken. That she
Crystal
likes.
baby.
Crystal. Crystal actually talks.
Come on.
Mary,
Well,
doesn't Crystal
no,
talk?
My Sophie actually, she will talk.
Yeah.
She will.
Yeah.
If the phone rings, she'll say, hello. Yeah. Someone knocks at the door, she'll say, hello.
that's why I had a cat that used to say that in the hello. That he used to. Everybody used to laugh. Yeah.
She's half Siamese.
Yeah. And when Mary had chicken, she has to keep an eye on it because Crystal baby will steal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Crystal will take it. Oh my God, she loves chicken. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And they know when
something
Mary
like
comes
that
to my
cat.
show too, don't they, Mary?
Yeah, you sure do.
Mary.
Yeah, and I always tell them, guess what? Your uncle got you some chicken. And she looked at me, I said, hurry up, give it to me. I got one.
Yeah, I'm hungry. When I buy her cats and chicken, I have to buy one for my cat too as well.
Wow. Sure.
Okay.
Wow. Got it.
Yeah, animals are they know when you're down. They know when, like what's your cat's name? Fred.
Fred.
Fred knows when you're unhappy. Fred knows.
He does.
They know when
Yeah.
you have a problem.
They sure do.
Yes, they do.
They do. And
They
how?
really do. And people I hate it when I hear about dog fights or people doing this with their dog. I actually took a dog away from a person one day. I said, "Find me if you can."
Good. I don't blame you.
You know. And I had that dog for 14 years.
Wow.
There's no reason. It always makes me. I don't know if you agree with this, Mary, but if you're going to beat on an animal, 9 out of 10, you're going to beat on a child.
That's right. You beat
Yeah.
on a child, or you're going to beat on a person. One of the
Right.
two.
Oh, your wife
That's
will-
true.
And the old saying is, if you can run over a cat for no reason, you do it to a person, and that is true.
That is true.
It is true. I agree.
One of my
It is
neighbors shot.
true.
Scott had a woodchucker, a groundhog, what do you want to call it, and he would crawl in Scott's lap.
Wow.
And one of the neighbors thought he'd be cute and shot it.
Jerk.
They got scared because I was mad. I said, "You don't know what I can do now." The guy moved out of the house.
That's
Yeah, it's a
Robert-
shame that some people can literally can step on dogs' paws, step on baby kittens, and thinks it's funny.
I know.
It's not funny.
It isn't.
It's not funny at all.
Then they wonder why a dog bites them or a cat scratches them.
That's right.
Right.
That's
You know.
right.
They really do. Oh,
There's a
I don't know
reason
what.
why
Well,
dogs
or they'll
turn
shoot the dog.
On a handler because they're not doing it what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
They're hurting that poor animal.
Yeah. And that's what's way with children, you know. I know what it's
Yeah.
like to be abused, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, there's no excuse. No, I don't like hearing the fact that when a person, I was abused as a child. I didn't take it on my children.
Right. Yeah.
I don't buy it.
No, it's not right.
Or
no,
if someone,
it's not right.
or if someone breaks into a store. Well, he had a bad childhood, so he didn't know right from wrong. Come on, don't blame that.
They use it all the time. I know. Oh, they're schizo. Oh, they're depressed.
Yeah.
When
I don't believe in that. No.
when I was young, my mother, what's wrong with you today? I'm depressed. You know what I got? A slap.
Yeah.
Change your attitude.
Yeah.
That was it.
You know.
All right, good. Now change your attitude. And
My
that's how
foster-
easy it was.
My foster mother, one day I forgot to tell her I was going swimming, and she got my towel. Let me tell you, she wasn't afraid to smack me with that towel.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid to smack you then. Today you can't do it.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No, today you cannot touch a kid. That's why there's so many kids get away with, they think they get away with, because you can't touch them today. And
Hey.
to me, a good spanking can straighten you out.
Hey, get
I
this.
don't care who likes it, who don't like it.
Listen to this. I drive for
You
Lyft.
can't touch any kid
Yep.
today because of that. Oh, I'm going to call the cops on
Yeah.
you.
Wait, here's a quick story, Mary. I drive for Lyft. This is just the other week, a week or two ago. I get this lady. She's from Ghana, right? She's from Ghana. We're talking. She's been here for 4 years. So she says, you know, there's a lot of things I love about this country, she says, but there's some that I don't like at all, right? So I go to her, I say to her, I go, so what thing do you like the least about America? You're not going to believe what she said. You can't whip your kids here. I'm not kidding you.
And it's true.
It is true.
Yeah,
That's what she
you
said.
can
You
get
can't whip
arrested
your
for it.
kids here.
And I feel sorry. Stop slamming the teachers.
You're
Oh,
right.
no, I'm slamming them now.
No. I mean, you hear these people, but their hands are tied in teaching.
Mhm.
And, well, my son didn't do that, or my daughter, how dare you not
Oh,
do
wow,
that?
that just makes them worse
Yeah,
off
and,
in the future.
Do I agree with a lot of the subjects that they're teaching today? Absolutely not. But they have to follow the guidelines what the superintendent gives to them.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers today, I wouldn't want to be a teacher today.
No, I wouldn't. No, sir. No,
What?
I pity the teachers today.
I really, I
they
can
take
remember,
too much grief
Yeah.
from these kids.
yeah. I can remember one week they had a parents' week, and I was always sitting in my chair like slumped over. My homeroom teacher, made me sit on a wastebasket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They didn't
believe
care.
it.
Parents'
No.
week, when they say, well, why is he sitting on a wastebasket? Until he learned how to sit up straight.
That's right.
I thought, well, isn't that cruel? But I learned how to sit up at a
That's it. You learn how to sit at attention.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And then we had a teacher that never missed when he shot chalk at you. He
Oh.
never, ever missed. I've had my hands smacked.
Yeah.
But the stricter, I don't know about you, Mary, but the stricter the teacher was, the better I learned.
That's right. I agree 100%. The teachers got nothing to hang on to anymore.
No.
They had nothing. When I was going to school, Catholic school and everything, which I was left-handed, but back then they wouldn't let you use your left.
Yeah, that was the
I used
devil's
to get
hand.
whacked for
Right-handed
using
whether
my
you
left.
liked it or not.
Yeah.
I got whacked, Mary, in public school for using my left hand.
Yeah, it's a devil's hand.
Yeah.
The teacher
Yeah,
should
that's
slap
what
me
they
on the
did. It was
side
a
of the
double
head.
work if
Use
you
your
weren't
other hand.
left-handed
I
back
never
then.
could.
Right. I walked into my next to the oldest stepdaughters, and they had and they had her hand tied to the
You're kidding.
chair, and that was the wrong. I said, "Why is her hand tied?" Well, we have to teach you how to use the right hand. I go, "No, you won't."
Yeah.
I said, "Because I'm going to arrest you for assault."
Wow. Well, when I was a kid, I'll never forget, I was in the first grade. Mrs. Howard, Davenport School, Medford, Mass. Long gone. I used my left hand. She'd come up to me, whack me on the left side of my face. Use your other hand. I'd go home from school crying. My mother would yell at me more. What are you crying? Finally, after a couple of weeks, she tells my father. He comes home every day crying. My father says, so finally my father asked me, why are you coming home crying? I told him, the teacher keeps whacking me because I used this hand, my left hand. He went up there the next day. That was the end of that.
Oh yeah, There are some people. There are some teachers that go overboard when they're old-fashioned rule. But then I can remember one time I was in junior high. There was this woman. She had a real big, and we all would take care, snap her back of the bra.
Yeah.
And she quit on us.
Ah.
But back then discipline was real.
Yeah, it was.
I survived it. Didn't you, Mary?
Yeah, well, true. Yes, I did. Hey, I'm here today.
Right, and if she
you
went,
learn a lot
if
back
she
then.
went to Catholic
You learn
school,
some stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
she got a loss.
But I learned a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing they would not do
Yeah.
with me, I had a learning disability because I couldn't see the blackboard well, and the teacher didn't like me to begin with because I was from the wrong side of the town.
Right, yeah.
And the kids were like that. I learned more out in the hallway than I did sitting in the classroom.
Yeah.
I read every single book that was in the library there.
Wow, good for
I used
you.
to call the operator and talk with her all the time. And one of the operators came to see what was going on. She caught one of the teachers.
Oh, really? Wow.
Because I was the one that, even if I did it right, I did it wrong.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I'm glad
Yeah, there's
today.
a lot of teachers like that,
Yep.
too, back then. Yes, and even today,
Yeah.
they
That's
have them
right.
like that.
They do.
That's say when my granddaughter went through hell back in middle school. Well, look at her today. She just got accepted. She's going to be a pharmacist, Mary.
Isn't that nice, huh?
Yeah. Mary was at a cookout. This is a cool, at my son's house, right? And my son had a dog named Harley. Mary was sitting there, not paying attention, and the dog stole her meat.
Oh.
We literally had to pry the stick out of her mouth as well. So
they had to grab him because he eat that because there was a stick between the meat and everything.
Yeah.
That was funny that they come up. You'd think he was coming up to you, to pat him.
Right.
That was it. He grabbed the meat.
when you come to my son's house for a cookout or my house for a cookout, if you leave there hungry, right, Mary? That is your own
fault. Because there's so much food, it's ridiculous. Yeah. There's so much food there.
And Mary brings a whole lot of
There's everything.
Oh, Mary, if you get a chance to stop by, I have something I want you to try. My granddaughter made a beautiful bread with chicken salad on top of cream cheese.
Oh, wow.
With some hard-boiled eggs, cut looks like an Easter egg, and pimento on top of that.
Wow.
Nice.
So it come out really good,
Yeah.
I am so blessed. I have friends like Mary. Believe me, Mary used to tell me off.
Come on.
Yes.
No way.
I don't sugarcoat it.
And then, of course, Mary used to beat people up for me, too.
Whoa.
I started fighting.
Yeah, because he was a troublemaker. He started, never finished it.
Wow. So
Well,
Mary,
why did you do that?
Troublemaker.
wow. So Mary, you're tough then. You're tough.
I used to be.
Wow.
You know what,
I
that's
ain't
what-
messing
in
with
them
you.
days, we had fun, didn't we, Mary? They had a place in
gosh,
Concord,
yeah.
New Hampshire.
Yeah,
They had the
our
best
hangout was
hot
called
dog
Mr. Hot
in the
Dog.
world.
The best hot
Like
dog?
Hot
Canal
dog.
Street.
15 to
in
20
Concord.
cents for a hot dog.
Where was this?
In Concord, New Hampshire. It's a little
Yeah,
small
down-
place. But you
Now
name
it's called
it.
Store Street.
What was it called?
It's called Store Street because there's so many
Yeah.
stores around
Yeah.
here
And
now.
they had the best hot dogs. Anything you wanted on that hot dog.
Really?
What was it?
Wow.
25 to 15 to 25 cents, right, Mary?
25 cents for a long hot dog. If you got the foot long, it was 50 cents.
Yeah.
Like you
Wow.
And everything on and a drink.
Way before
Yeah,
my
yeah.
time. Way before my time.
Yeah, right, okay.
drink. Yeah.
He can't say that with a straight face,
This is
Mary.
back in the late 50s.
For hamburgers and hot
Early
dogs,
60s.
all we had was Joe and Nemo's.
I used to love to go to Newberry's.
Oh, God,
Why
yeah.
not? We didn't have Newberries
And
down
a
there.
J.J. Newberry's.
and
What was the other
Walworth,
one?
Walworth.
Woolworths. We had
Woolworths.
Woolworths.
Yeah. Go out to the counter
Yeah.
and get a hot dog and french fries or a hamburger and french fries for $1.
Did you have, what
Yes.
about Grants? Did you have Grants?
No.
No Grants up here? Wow.
We had a giant store in Petticoat.
Well, we didn't have giant stores down there. There was a
yeah.
giant store in Lowell, but we never had them near Boston.
They used to have a place in Lebanon, New Hampshire called the Riverside Store, department store. And every Thursday night they'd have wrestling.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
And that
cool.
was a big drawer. People spent a
I'm
lot
sure-
of money. There's a big drawer in
That
there.
sounds pretty
But
cool.
they made it so you wanted to go out. Right,
Yeah.
Mary?
Yeah, all true. Yeah, compared to it is today.
Today you don't dare to go
Yeah.
out. And they used to every Thursday night as well, Friday night they'd have a street dance in Lebanon.
Cut
Yeah,
it out.
every Thursday night
Yep.
over here in
Wow,
Manchester.
that's far, isn't it, Lebanon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is now, yeah. But you know what? Everybody had a good. You didn't think about shooting somebody. You didn't think about. I'm sure they were pickpocket. Not everything.
Yeah.
Correct, but you didn't hear about people getting beat up. You went there. You had a good time.
You could leave your doors open, your windows
Yep.
open, and go out.
Yep.
You wouldn't be afraid of anything.
Nope.
But today you can't do it.
Isn't it sad the way our country has come?
It is. Well, no.
People
what
used
it
to.
is, you know?
My foster mother. They always knew.
change it.
Yeah.
No.
They always knew my my foster mother's baking day.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
really?
would have the hobos coming around.
I know.
My
Remember,
mother
they
too,
were
when she baked
hobos.
her bread and all
Yeah.
the baked goods and everything.
Hobos,
Everybody knew it
that's it.
around the neighborhood.
Oh yeah. My mother would make them go down to the river and take it, clean up, take a mat, and
for her, yeah.
she'd give them fresh clothes, and she'd wash the other ones and come back the next week again. Or
Wow,
whatever.
nice.
And
Good
we
for
always
her.
made sure we took them with. I made a mistake one time. I was making fun of one of the hobos. Let me tell you, I got a beating like there was no tomorrow. You are going to respect them. I don't care.
Yep. And you know, like my mother always said, until you walk in somebody else's shoes, keep your mouth shut.
That's
Yep.
right. That's true, though.
And it's really true.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really is, I can't judge you. I can't tell you you're right or wrong or whatever,
Right.
I can empathize with. My biggest thing, and I think, Mary, we discussed this before, you and I hate it when people go, "Oh, Dave, I know how you feel.
Oh, right.
I've been there." No,
Yeah,
you don't
they
know.
don't.
Right.
You can empathize with me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can, because you have been through it, you can understand, but you do not know how I feel personally.
That's true. That's right.
When my doggies or my animals die, and always a piece of us leave. When I had roommates,
How true.
you always, but they're always with us.
That's
Yeah.
they are.
Mary told me one time, this is when fighting days.
Uh-oh.
Get off your butt. Well, I'll put it that way. Stop
I-
looking for trouble. I'm getting tired of it. Okay, so I had to behave myself.
So if Mary wasn't around, then
I
God
would've got
knows
beat
where
up.
you'd be today.
Oh, I'd be beat up. Or I would have had to learn how to fight. And I always picked on the big
Wow.
guys. Didn't I, Mary?
Yes, you did. But
Oh,
he
yeah.
was a troublemaker from the word go. I used to say, "Nom, behave yourself, or I beat you up."
They would have a couple of ginger ales and away we'd go. But you know what? Afterwards, we all were friends, weren't we, Mary?
Yeah, how
We'd
true.
all,
Yeah.
we'd all go to
Everything
the
was
same.
forgetting.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all would go to the same
Either the
pile.
next person the next night or a
Yep.
week later.
Yeah.
We'd be all talking.
Yeah, that's like I used to go to the dances every Saturday night with my mother, and you see a fight out there. They didn't use knives, they didn't
No,
use guns,
I know,
they
it's
didn't
fists.
fisticuffs. Okay,
That's right.
I'd get them
Yeah,
going,
it
and I'd run
wasn't
it high.
3 on 4. You
Right.
take you 1 on 5.
That's
It
right.
wasn't a gang picking on one person. Those are cowards who do that.
Yeah.
They
I
are.
say that, and I say they're cowards.
They
If
sure
you
are.
can't go 1-on-1, you got to have 2 and 3 and 4 people picking on that one person. You're a coward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's it, Mike. That's one guy. He come after me, and I won my battle on him. Next thing I know, 2 days later, I got him and his so-called friends coming after me.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
that's definitely cowards. They got a streak down their back.
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
that.
Mary, you
'Cause
want
they
a
know
couple
they
of
can't get the best of you.
right? You want a couple of cards read on you?
Sure.
Hey, what are you-
All right, I'm going to do the tarot cards, Mary. All right?
All righty.
We'll do 3. We'll do 3. So I'm just going to pick them. You're going to get the cards that you're supposed to get naturally, but you know that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take the next to the bottom one for the last card. All right, so let's see what we got for Mary here. All right. Wow, first of all, Mary, see, look, we got the King of Wands. All right, so,
Okay.
all right, so we're going to...
Hold it up so you can. There you go.
Oh, all right. So, Mary, everything what you're going to say is you sort of like you take your time. You don't you don't come to decisions really quick. You know, you sort of really think things out.
Drop your card down. There you go.
Oops.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll sit
I lost. See, they interrupted me now.
Good.
You know, you sort of roll with the situation at
Yeah.
the same time. You got a lot of strength there. I also lots, and I love it. Lots of positive energy with you, Mary. Incredible.
Yeah.
So I would say keep that up. You know, you got your eyes open for different opportunities, and you know what paths to take. Sometimes you're not sure. You can choose A, B, or C, and you're really good at sort of taking your time with that.
And I do, yeah.
Right.
I do on that.
Wow,
yeah.
and now
On everything.
look, now we got another king, Mary. So we got the King of Cups here, and it's the same thing. I'm still getting lots of positive energy here, and look, you're still down emotionally. Mary, I'm going to say most of the time, quite a bit of the time, Mary can sort of keep her emotions in check, or at least even if they're not in check, you're well aware of them. You know what's going on with them, And again, there comes a time when you do sort of want to let your emotions sort of run away with you or get the best of you, it's not like they do it unintentionally or without your knowledge or without you knowing. You sort of, say, well, all right, I'm going to sort of go this way, let your defenses down a little bit emotionally, and we're going to see where it goes. All right? And finally, Mary.
Uh-oh.
And the Knight of Cups, Mary, look at this. So now, when it comes to emotionally, we're going to just stick with the emotions because you got the cups there, Mary. But look at it. We got this nice new energy, and it's going someplace. So I don't know now if you got your eyes set on somebody emotionally, that it could be either way, that you want to sort of move towards that person emotionally, or perhaps it could be someone you want to move away from emotionally, but there's definitely motion there, Mary. Motion with your emotions. And, it's also at the same time, too, with that emotions, it's like, you sort of got a little protection around you. You sort of got a little wall around you just to make sure you're moving nice and slow, and at the same time, you're letting them know, here I come.
Mary, everything you said is really right on with Mary.
Really? See,
do you agree, Mary?
Yeah. Yeah.
When Mary she doesn't sit on the pity pot when she's a very bad diabetic at times, okay? And she doesn't sit there and feel sorry for herself.
Good.
Am I right,
No, you
Mary?
can't.
Her babies are her mainstream of life.
They're
Good.
my life. You're right.
Good.
My cats are my life.
And Mary had a lady friend come on, Irene, is that her name? Yeah, Irene. And now she's coming on my show, which I'm excited about. And I had Mary booked to come on with it because I think she'll feel more comfortable with Mary coming on. Yeah. But I have to behave myself.
Not really.
Yes, you do. Else I'm going to hit you beside the head.
You hear that?
Whoa!
Did you hear that?
Whoa, violence.
I was going to say she's going to put
Violence
on my beautiful body. Well, I don't know about that.
You might want to think twice.
If we see her with a baseball bat, well, no. Well, didn't we have a great show last week, Mary?
Yes, it was. It was very good. Yes, it
James
was.
read 2 or 3 poems, but it was really good. And Tony came on, and Mary came on, and the gift that I got, I went home and cried for a half hour.
See, poor me. And I was stuck in grand jury, so I couldn't watch.
Yeah, but you were making money.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I count my money towards me, and I cry when I go out. Mary taught me.
Everybody does that. I don't want it. Give me the money back.
Yeah, Mary taught me that,
Wow.
Hang on to it towards you, but
She's
cry
quite
when it
the
goes.
influence.
Oh,
She's
she is.
quite
She
the influence,
is.
Mary.
But she has a gift of heart. One day, I didn't have some money to buy cat food with, and I was talking. She came over and gave me $20 to go buy. I paid her back, but she came over and gave me money for the cat.
Yeah.
You remember that, Mary?
Yeah, and that's one thing. I can't see any animals, even my cousin.
Yeah.
I can't see any animals going without food.
Yeah.
I
will spend my last dollar.
Me too.
On
How was
any animal.
How is your cousin doing now, Mary?
They're doing good. Muffin Girl had another small stroke.
Uh-huh.
And there's one that you can talk to a doctor. It's like ask a person, ask. And there's the one you call up and say, ask a doctor.
Yeah.
And this one here, she's totally blind in her right eye right now. Totally, it's gone. And everything. I told her how it bleeds, and that's a sign of stroke and cancer.
Yeah.
When the cat bleeds from the eye or something.
Yeah.
Oh, cat?
And he said it could be, And he said it could be, the next stroke could take her.
Right. Well, how's your
As long as she's eating and she's good and everything else, I'm not doing anything with her.
No. As long as she's not at the... Well, how's your cousin that I met that came over to my house a couple of times? How is she doing?
Yeah, my cousin, she's kind of tired. I talked to her and you know and everything, and like she says, Mary, I miss her so bad.
Yeah.
And everything.
Now,
so
she's
I
in a-
told her soon I have this month I go for my last shot, and once I get that last shot, like I told her, I will bring her her coffee. I will bring her that egg, whatever she likes, and a donut. I will bring it to her.
Now,
Because once I get that last shot, we can see each other.
now she's in a
And
nursing
that's
home,
why
right?
I'm doing it, for one reason.
Right. Now she's in a nursing home, right?
Yes, she is, yeah.
She was a beautiful lady too.
Was she?
Boy, she
Yeah.
had a mind of her own too.
Oh,
she sure
sure
did.
does today.
She told me off one day, and I didn't remember saying something that I said. You know, and I went, whoa, all right. And then she came over, boy, and you know, and she. When we have cookouts, you're gonna come to them. When we have cookouts, we make sure we have a good time. Okay?
Oh, we do, yeah.
put
Like you
music
said
on.
before, there really is so much food. It's if you go away hungry, don't blame anybody but yourself.
All right.
Even my daughter-in-law does not like carrots. Am I right, Mary?
Tammy, yeah.
Yeah, she does not. When Mary makes them, she has to make a special dish for my daughter-in-law.
You're kidding.
No, I am not. Mary won't tell us her secret.
Wow.
Yeah,
right.
she won't. She will not eat carrots.
No, but when
She's
Mary
just a
makes them,
whip.
yeah.
But she likes them the way I put them together.
Wow.
It's a Canadian dish, put it that way.
Okay.
Mary makes a
My
lot of
grandfather
delicious.
used to make them like that.
Are you from Canada?
No, but my great grandparents and grandparents come from the reservation right up there in Quebec.
Yeah.
And my grandmother's full-blooded Indian. She was a full-blooded Micmac.
I've eaten
My
it.
father's side are all Iroquois.
Wow,
the reservation.
I've eaten on the reservation up in Quebec. They have a big
Yeah,
restaurant
that's
there.
where they came from.
Hey, why don't you go to the Walnut to
It
the powwow
was
they have?
called the Asbestos Mines. That's where they came in from.
Where asbestos?
Asbestos Mines. That's
Yeah,
where
I
the
know where that.
reservation
Yeah, Thetford Mines, asbestos.
You
I know where
one
that
thing about
is.
Mary, you never know what she's going to bring into us. Long as it's not a
Yep.
quail or something like that. I'm
Wow.
Yeah,
But
and my
Mary
great
makes the
grandparents
most-
came from Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
Wow.
A little mixture of everything.
But Mary, you never know. I mean, they look, oh, what the hell is that? They come out delicious,
Wow. Nice.
you know. She makes cherries. I keep hoping I'll get mine back, but it doesn't work. You know, I'm like, hey, Mary, you some night after you get after the show, I'm going to take you to Elm House of Pizza.
Oh yeah, that's where Tim Bain is today.
Oh my God, we went there again. I went there again today for lunch.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
delish.
He ate 2 pieces.
Yeah.
No, actually, you couldn't eat all your first one.
No,
could
I
you?
know. Oh, it's delicious.
They had
the
the
pizza,
delicious
Mary.
fried haddock sandwiches. That's what I had.
Yeah.
And it was very
Wow.
good. I wasn't too keen on the clam chowder,
Chowder.
but that was me. You know. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to take you there after you do a show. We'll go there and have dinner. How's that?
Sounds good.
My treat. She's
Wow.
Well, remember that lady that called, that guy that called and said, make sure you split the bill
Yeah.
when you were
Yeah.
on there?
Yeah.
You know.
You're saying that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mary, we're going to let you go because we're going to get up ready to close. And Mary, I
Alrighty.
look forward to you coming on the show with Irene.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
And probably coming on soon. You come on too. Okay. And
Yeah.
we'll have a
Alrighty.
good time. Okay. Have a great
Catch
night.
you guys later. God
You too.
bless.
All right. You too.
Thanks.
Bye
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
bye. She cannot contact me on Facebook.
I remember, well, last time she said
Yeah,
the
because I
same
showed
thing.
her. I
That's
typed
funny.
up to her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's right. But she's a marvelous lady. Definitely.
So I never didn't realize you've known her for quite a while. When you're talking about
I'm only 30.
50, when you're talking about 15-cent hot dogs, no.
Oh yeah. Well, we should go to New
Then
Hampshire.
again, it is New Hampshire, so.
Yeah. Well, we went to treat once a month. But this lady, I should call her Auntie Cora, and you wouldn't think she had a penny in the world. That's the way she dressed. But she was
Yeah.
a big old junkyard. Outlived her husband. Thank
Really?
goodness, yeah. And once a month we'd go to Lebanon. when you go into Woolworths and would have a hamburger, might treat a hamburger with French fries and a soda for $1.25.
Yeah.
Today we cost you $10.
Easy. 12 or 15, I know.
Welcome to Norm's Community Corner. Hello. Goodbye. Hello, my honey.
Right, we'll give him a quick reading, a one-card reading.
Yeah.
Queen of Swords, that's it. You got to break your ties and stop being shy. Make that decision once and for all.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime doll. You must know that one.
I don't know that one either.
Boy, you are young.
Wow. No.
How about roll out the barrel?
I know that one.
Oh, ready?
Everybody knows that one.
We'll have a barrel of fun.
Yeah, I know that one.
Hey,
I don't know all the words, but I know that line.
Hello, Norm's Community Corner.
Everybody knows that. We'll have a barrel of fun. Oh, they're singing.
No,
Why
we
couldn't
were.
they hear me?
Nobody. I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you previously.
Hi, Norm. Can you hear me? It's Jim.
Hi, Jim. Yeah, I can hear you.
I hear ya. I just wanted to continue good healing and.
Thank you. Hey, I had my pyramid on here, and I had my.
Okay, I just want to say my little cat is watching your show, and she's pawing at the TV. She likes the sound of your voice.
Oh well, that's good. I'm glad somebody does.
See, there you go.
You know.
Somebody's
See, I got my
clawing
watch
for
on. I'm wearing my watch.
He's got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'll be getting you back on probably.
I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad.
I really probably by the end of.
I had fun last week.
Right. Look at next. I'm looking at my calendar. I'll have you and your wife and Tony and Mary back on again.
I'll be getting you back on. I'm glad you enjoy it.
You got to turn your TV down.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk to you later because I'm ready to go off, okay?
That'll be great, okay.
Yeah, bye-bye now. Thank you. Oh, yeah, he wrote me a beautiful, he wrote a beautiful poem,
Nice.
and I got it on my wall.
You.
That sounds good. I'll look forward to that.
All righty. You all have a good night now.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
bye-bye.
right, God bless, Norm.
You too. Bye-bye.
I enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
It sounds, we're
got a
talking, and then
TV, yeah.
15 seconds later,
Well,
it's
he's got the TV running,
right, too loud. It was
Yeah.
very loud.
Half the people don't realize what they're doing,
Yeah.
you know. But I am enjoying life more than ever. I'm not taking it for granted.
Well, I enjoy life unbelievable.
Yeah.
Day after day after day. I don't know how to describe
Right.
it, but
When I was getting sober, I'd be sitting on the, oh, poor me, nobody likes me. My dear friend, Laura, I'm going to call her Laura W. And who the hell do you think you are? Here we go again. Hello, Norm's Community Corner.
Hi, Norm. This is Claudette.
Hey, Claudette, how we doing, darling?
Good. Hey, what? I have problem, but I tried to call you before, and the phone was not right.
Oh, well, okay.
Anyway,
But
how
how,
are you doing?
I am doing super well. How are you doing?
Okay, I have problem with my toe again.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Are you coming over tomorrow?
Yeah, it's okay if I go tomorrow.
Of course you can.
Okay, I'm gonna call you before I'm gonna win it.
You can only wear your bikini, though.
I'm sorry.
You can only wear your swim shorts.
deal.
Yeah, there you
yeah.
go. Yeah, so,
Well,
yeah.
hey, not gonna see me that way anyway.
Oh.
Well, okay now.
Okay.
I'll let you go because.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye, Mom. I gotta
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, hon.
Who's that?
She, Claudette, she's a really good friend of mine.
Oh.
You know, she comes over before the virus got into. The virus hurt a lot of my business. The people coming in the office and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure,
know,
yeah.
you know. But you know what? the spirit always prevails. And always make sure you have enough to pay your bills.
It does.
And,
It sure does.
and whatever things I might need, So I'm really very excited about it going on. And tomorrow I'll be busy, and Friday,
Good.
and
Yeah.
then Saturday I gotta go home. I'm doing a party down in New Boston.
Where's that? New Boston.
I don't know, somewhere down past Milford. I just
Okay,
ride.
I
don't
know what
where-
Milford is.
Yeah, I just ride. I don't know where it is,
Right.
And they're planning on. Well, I may get together with you because they're planning. They're doing a show down in Boston. Well, Boston, and then we can stay
Oh,
one
yeah.
night in a hotel.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And we have an open expense account.
Wow.
Okay. So
Wow.
we
Fill
on
me
them.
in.
You can, and they had one time I did an open expense account, and I didn't order alcohol or anything like that. And they said, "This is it. When we have an expense account, we have an expense account. But you don't want to abuse it.
Right, exactly.
Like
right.
I got pulled to New Jersey, first class. I had a limo and a bodyguard.
Whoa,
and,
pardon me.
and I had an open expense account. Yeah, I know I was burning, but it's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
So don't be surprised when I give you a call and say, hey, you want to go here to
All right.
make sure you put plenty of food in your cat dish. It will probably
Well, I just, the lady next door, Diane, I already talked to her. She said she'd watch the cat. So,
I love going to these live shows. I love doing on stage. Have you done on stage?
no, I haven't done on stage.
You're going to be. I love doing it. I love doing private parties. I like doing full. I just like
I've just
what
done
I
like
do.
psychic, live psychic fairs until COVID came along and stuff. But I really like that. But I wouldn't mind doing. It's funny because Liz, I told her we'd be good together on stage because we're so connected. It would be with you too because we're so connected. And
She's coming on next month in May.
Is she?
I'm going to let her little youngest son, he can sit up here and run the phone.
Ah, very good.
Yeah.
That'll be a charge for the kids.
Yeah.
The thrill.
I love having little kids on the show. It makes it feel important.
Yeah.
I'm not a special. I don't let little kids in my house. I don't let because
Right.
because of our lifestyle. And I don't want someone to go back. Oh, he's doing that again. Because there are so many narrow-minded effing people out
You're
there.
not kidding.
But it's okay for the parent to hurt a child.
Right. It is.
But then I can remember back in the days when you're talking about if you're gay and a child, you're automatically a child molester. And they all used to label
That's
it
what
that
gets
way.
me. I knew somebody like that, and I used to go, right away, they're after kids. I go, no. I go, just because someone is homo does not make them a pedophile. I says, you're wrong.
We hate them.
But everybody hates kid touches.
Yeah.
Everybody. But except kid touches. And I know one of them too, and he denies it up and down, and it's so obvious. But anyway, I used to say that one person, I don't want to say who it is though, in particular, all the time. All, the queers, they pedophiles. No, they're not.
No.
That's what used to get
We're
me.
human.
Right, but it's to categorize one and just group it right in with the other. I could never, it's like no, it's not true.
No. And that's the thing. When they used to say I was queer, I'll say, thank you, I know I'm different. Or if they call you a faggot, faggot is a well-dressed man or a cigarette.
That's right, a cigarette in Britain. I remember that.
Because I always say, when they say you're a faggot or whatever, thank you for the compliment. And that's you're queer.
Dapper Dan.
Yeah, I'm different. I will not get upset. I will not feed into their garbage.
Right, I don't blame you. I know.
Because that way they don't. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on.
And thanks
And
for
thanks for the last
inviting me
minute.
as usual.
Okay, well, have fun. I'll get you on again very soon.
I love it.
You may come on. I'll let you know about when Liz. I'll check with Liz because she's got a guy that comes on that's a rapper. So, on some kind of she has a kid that's an entertainer.
Who
That's
does?
coming on.
Liz?
Liz, yeah, it's a friend of hers. So I'm letting him come
She's
on.
bringing a rapper with her.
I guess it's a rapper.
Wow, not bad. All right.
So I'll see what we can do. But I want the little guy to come here, and so if we have,
Well, yeah.
we'll see what we'll play it by ear.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, everybody out there, remember every day you're the winner. You're the winner. Don't look the other way. Just keep on going astray. be you. There.
Right.
I don't know what the hell that's.